this video I'll be going over how to create a new SKU feed. In this video I'll be going over the apparel category, more specifically shirts, but the same idea applies to any category. So if you're making something in fashion accessories or shoes, the same steps would still apply. So by now you probably have emailed us and asked us for the categorization, the attributes, and the template. If you haven't, go ahead and stop what you're doing now and email mpsuccess@marketplace.rakuten.com, and I will type that up quickly, and I'll also put it in the description. So if you haven't emailed us yet and you don't have these templates, please go ahead and do this now, and we'll provide them for you. Now in this video I have the apparel taxonomy and the apparel template. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the template in Excel and open up the PDF. And the template you'll see here, a lot of different categories, seems a bit daunting at first, but it's really not once you get the hang of it. And that's what I'm here for. And if you still have questions after the video, please email us and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Taking a look at the taxonomy for apparel, there are not too many right now, but we may add some more. But I'm going to be making shirts. So I'm going to be doing this category ID, 16756, and you'll see all these different attributes at the end, and you may be a little bit confused because you don't know, that's a lot of stuff. I don't know what my pattern style is or what these brackets mean. That's what this video is going to go over. So let's first go line by line or column by column with the Excel sheet. So go ahead and go into your RMS portal and you'll get your seller ID on the top right. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my seller ID, and I'm going to paste it into the first column. And if you see right now the numbers look a little weird, it's simply a column issue. It's just the column's a little bit too narrow. You just widen the column and then it'll work fine. Make sure there's no blank spaces at the end. That will cause the feed to error. Make sure it's just the last number, then no empty spaces. GTIN is the UPC, where I have an exemption, but if you had UPCs for your products, you'd put it in this category, or in this column. Manufacturer name, I already have all this stuff set up just so the video goes faster. I'm using my test account. I'm going to do 6 test products, and I'm going to be doing variants. So I'm going to have 6 shirts in 2 different colors, but 3 different sizes, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So manufacturer name is Paul's Hats. The manufacturer part number for my first hat is going to be the style of my shirt. S is for small, and white is for the color. ASIN is something, it's the Amazon number. You don't have to worry about that. That was something we used a long time ago, but we don't use that number anymore, or that column. So you can leave that column blank. Seller SKU is what you refer to your products as on your end. This is something you provide to us. You can be anything you want it to be, numbers, a combination of numbers and letters, any value you want it to be. This is for you. The title is simply the title of the product. Description, pretty self-explanatory for the description. I have one here. I'm going to copy and paste. Main image, I have that as well. Now this is very important, especially for product sets. You don't want to include the wrong color image for your product. So I have a white and a black shirt. I need to be very, very careful. If you look at my feed, I was using white. So I need to make sure my main image is going to be the white shirt, not the black one. So I'm going to copy this URL, whoops, and put it in main image. You can do up to 4 additional images. If you would do additional images, you separate them by a pipe, and that is the number, or the button below backspace or above enter. and it's shift and then that button, and you'll see that little long pipe symbol. So you do the link, pipe, next link, pipe, link, like that. In this case, I don't have additional images, so if I use the main image as additional images, when you go to process the feed or validate the feed on your end, it won't work. So I'm going to leave this blank. The weight is the shipping weight. I'm going to leave, it's going to be 1 pound. Features, you separate these by the pipe symbol. For example, this is not what you'd want to do if you're doing features. You don't want to type in awesome shirt, hit the enter key up here, and then it'll go to the next line. You want to do all one line. So you would do awesome shirt, pipe symbol, maybe if it's pre-shrunk you can just type that, and you can do as many of these as you see fit. If you have too many, it'll give you an error, but generally you can include a fair amount of the features, and you separate them by the pipe. Listing price and MSRP, this is kind of confusing. This is not going to be your selling price. These are both the retail price or MSRP. Make them both the same. I know it seems a little strange, but they're used for two different things on our back end, but they have to be the same, otherwise it can cause issues. And on my Excel here, you see it went to 40. That's just because the column's too small. If you make it bigger, it'll look like what you thought it would be. Category ID, this is where it gets important. That you need to tell our system where you're going to put your products. And in this example, we're making shirts. So you're doing 16756. Keywords we do not use those anymore, so you don't have to put anything in there. Product set ID. I'm going to go back to this a little bit later, but this is the column you'd use to group your products together. I'll be going into more detail about this later, but I'm going to be using trendy TT. That's the shirt style I'm using. Now for the attributes on the right side, the ones that are in the square brackets, these ones, those are all the required attributes. So this one you have 1, 2, 3, 4 required attributes. The stuff in squiggly lines, the squiggly brackets, means it's a product set variant and it's going to have a drop-down menu. I'll show you an example of that in just a little bit here, but just for now, let's start with the age gender. That's the first required attribute, and then you're going to scroll down to the attributes, and you can see for age gender, what are we going to put in the age gender category, or in the age gender column. You can put one of these. Choose one of the following values. My shirt is a men's shirt, so I'm going to do men's in age gender. The next attribute is color, and this is going to have a drop down if you'd use the product set column correctly. So let's go to color and see what I can put inside the color. Okay, color says enter any string value, so this means any color that you have, you can just type in there. If you wanted to type in, you know, off-white or Americana red, you could use your own color. So there's no choose from options. You just choose whatever color, you type in whatever color you want. Mine's just going to simply be white. Let's go back up, see what's next. Top style. So let's go down to the top style attributes and see what I have to put in there. Oh, I just saw it. So choose one or more of the following values. So what my shirt I'm making, what type of shirt is it? Or top I'm making. I am making, let's just say, a regular shirts. So let's find top style up here. It's alphabetical, so I keep going to the T's. There. and I'm going to be using shirts. Let's go back up to our category. Now there's baby sizes or size. So if this is a shirt for a baby, you can use one of the baby sizes here, or if it's not, you just use the regular size. You have to include one of the two. So if it's a baby product, you use the baby sizes. If it's just a regular adult product, or not for babies, I guess, you would use one of the following values, and there's a lot of them. So one size fits all. You have a lot of different options, and then there's more down there. So for me, I'm going to be making a small for the first one, and small is marked with an S, not the actual word small like this. So let's go to size. This is not what you would put. That would err. You want to put simply an S for the size, because that's what it tells you to put. Now those are all the required attributes. If you have more is always better. It'll give the customer a better idea of what they're purchasing. It's always better for, if people want to drill down to a certain type of fit they're looking for. So for example, if I know my fit type for this shirt style is like relaxed or skinny or slim, I'd want to let the customer know so they just have a better idea of what kind of shirt it is. So let's go down to fit type, and you have to choose one or more of these values here. Mine, let's just say it's relaxed. So let's find fit type. There it is, and we're going to type in relaxed. You do not have to use additional attributes. I would just highly recommend it if you're able to. It just gives the customer more information. Now, here is what causes a lot of issues for certain sellers. Oh, I forgot to mention, as you're making your feed, it's a good idea to save your progress often, just in case you mess something up, your computer crashes, or what have you. So I'm going to save this test stuff. So I have one SKU created, or ready to be created. If you have a set, if you have, for example, I'm doing shirts, if you have 2 colors and different sizes, you'd want to make them with a product set, and I'm going to do that really quickly here. You can see how fast you can do it. With me right now, I'm going to make 5 more products in probably a minute or so. But be careful as you go fast. You want to make sure your data is correct, because when you go fast you might make mistakes and use the same manufacturer part number or what have you. So with Excel, the really neat thing, you can just click and drag on the bottom right corner and just scroll this down, and it'll just copy that over and over again. So I want 6 of these. Alright, so I need 1 more. Manufacturer name for all the shirts are the same, so that's fine. Manufacturer part number is different. These need to be unique per product. So I have 6 of my shirts, and they all follow the same pattern. The manufacturer part number for the white is trendy S white. For the medium, it's M white, large L white, and then for the black side, or for the black color, it's the same, just different, black instead of white. Seller SKU is the same as the manufacturer part number for me, so I'll just copy and paste those. The titles are all the same. Obviously, it's the same shirt. Do not include, men's or women's in the title. Don't include the color. That'll be an option for them to select via drop down. The descriptions are all the same, so you just, that box, the bottom right, click and drag. Boom, it's going to give me the same description on all of them. Main image, this is where you want to be careful. If you were to do this, it's going to give you the white image for my black ones. So you need to make sure, okay, on lines 5, 6, and 7, I'm giving them the black image URL. So let's copy and paste that. The weight, they're all the same shipping weight, all the same features, all the same listing prices. This might not be the case if you charge more for, let's just say my large, I use a bit more fabric, so I'm going to say my large is, oops, that's small. my larges are going to be $44 instead of $39. So this is where, you know, the information needs to be correct on your end, because once you submit the feed, it's very hard to update certain attributes, and listing price is one of them. So I know you want to make your products really quickly, but make sure your product information is correct, even if you're going quickly. Category ID, it's all the same. Now I'm going to mess up the category ID here on purpose, just so when I validate the feed, you'll see the error that comes and how to read it. Product set ID, this is what I was talking about, how you group the products together. If you do this incorrectly, you won't see the products grouped as you expect. Brooks running jacket. See if I can find an example of one of my previous test ones. Here, I think that's me. These are me. So when I did my feed, I have red, and you see a red jacket pop up, and if I do white, you'll see the white one pop up. That's because I grouped all my products together. If I were to group up the white ones with, you know, trendy TT white, and I use these three product set IDs, and I use trendy TT black for the black ones, I would have two separate pages. I wouldn't have a drop down for black and white. It would just have white on one and black on the other page. You want the customers to be able to choose a lot of products on the same page. It's just a better customer experience and easier to find the product instead of, you know, looking through tons of search results. So I want all my product set IDs to be the same, so they have the right drop downs. This is the really cool part. All the attributes are the same, so you just drop that down, find the next one you did, color, you drop this down. Now you might be thinking this is where you make a mistake, because the colors aren't all white. Remember, the bottom three are black, so you'd want to change these to black. The fit type for all of them, all the same. Size, ooh, this is the important one. You can't do this. Whoops. Oops, that's not good. You can't do this because they're not all small, so that'll mess it up. You'd need to do the white small was first, then the medium, then the large, then it was black small, medium, large. And let's just make sure all my data is right. I'm just going to follow this line around. Large, and then large black. Perfect. So that looks like that's right. Let's keep going over. Top style is shirts. Make sure it's good. Yep. And that's it. So I've made 6 products with 3 sizes and 2 different colors. So now I'm going to validate the feed to make sure there's no errors. There should be, because I messed up this category ID on purpose. So when you save the file, you're going to want to save it as a text tab delimited format. That's how, if it's not that format, it won't validate. It'll just say, you know, invalid file type. So let's just select text tab delimited, hit save. Now you're going to go into your RMS portal. It's rmsportal.rakuten.com. And then you would click validate feed. Browse and find your feed. What was my file name? Test stuff. Now I have the teststuff.xls, which is the Excel version. I want the .txt. Open that up and hit submit file for validation. It probably takes anywhere from 15 to a few minutes, depending on how many products you have. I only have 6, so I hope it doesn't take too long. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of empty space in the video. There it is. You click download error log. You can open it up in Notepad It'll tell you if it was successfully validated, in which case you just email that to us and we'll process it, or it'll tell you what's wrong. Here we go. So for line 7, it says the attribute pants type is required for this category ID, but I'm like, wait, I didn't make pants, I'm making shirts. So that's when I would go and look. Okay, shirts is 16756. Go to my feed, look at the category ID I told the system it was. Oh, okay, that makes sense. It's 16756. Now there was another error. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to validate it again because this error is a somewhat common error, and I just want to see if how to show you guys how to fix it. So I updated the feed. Let's go back to my portal, validate the feed again. And I would highly recommend downloading Notepad++. You can open your feeds in Notepad++ to see the errors easier than in the regular Notepad, the regular Microsoft Notepad. It's very basic and it's very hard to see the errors that our validator is showing you. So it's saying on lines 8 and 9 the content line cannot be empty. I go to my feed and I'm like, well, there's no content there. Why is that? Why am I getting that error? But if you open Notepad++ and you open up your feed in here, whoops. We're going to see blank lines on 7 and 8. That just means there's blank spaces and the system thinks there's stuff in there because there's blank spaces. If you simply delete the last few columns in your feed, or the last 2 rows, we're just going to delete these like so, resave it, and now when we validate it, this should work. And of course my mouse bugs out. Of the pointer. Oh, there it is. It's fixed now. And if you have any questions, anything's confusing, we're always here to help. You can email us at mpsuccess@marketplace.rakuten.com. I'll give you the link in the description as well. So let's see, download the error log, open it up, and there we go. The file was successful with no errors. That's how you do a new SKU feed. I know we went over apparel, but any other category should follow the same steps. Thank you for watching, and let us know if you have any questions.